Hey, what's up? I was not planning on going live this afternoon, but I saw this trade setup, and if it pans out, I kind of wanted to take a trade on it. Um, what it is, we traded the drop this morning, and I said we were going to come and take out this previous day's liquidity. We're below it now, and I don't want to try and take any longs necessarily right now, but I kind of had this. I was just kind of doing some other stuff on my computer and noticed I had this 5 minute fair value gap outlined. You can notice we wicked into it here, touched the bottom of it here, and then I saw this right here. So into the 2 o'clock hour, we had this run up and then run down, and I just thought if we wanted to see more downside, I would like if we saw like a fair value gap deliver or form on the downside, and I would use this as a breaker. So if it was a high, low, higher high break, and there was a fair value gap in here, I would enter short and try and scalp a short. So yeah, we'll see if that plays out. This fair value gap is about 50% off the high and the low. I wouldn't really want to enter off this fair value gap necessarily, just because I just really like the probability. If we kind of take out a swing low on the 5 minute, because then I would just see this as like, if you look in the 5 minute down here, this would just be a retracement. So even this morning we had the drop, which I called out this red sell side level this morning, and we had a retracement back into this 5 minute fair value gap, 15-minute fair value gap, and then we had another drop during the lunch hour. And then I want to see, we would expect another kind of retracement and then possibly a drop. So yeah, I want to see if that happens. It's really the only thing I would take a trade on. So I'm going to do this a little preemptively, but it would be like assuming that becomes a breaker. But again, we have to see price take this low out and close below this low before that becomes a breaker. And it would be a breaker because we swapped this liquidity. We have this high, low, higher, high. It's kind of there on the 5 minute, high, low, higher, high. Yeah, I think we could go like it. That could be the bottom for the day. I was kind of trying to look at some higher time frame levels. If you go like all the way up to the 4 hour, we have this pretty large fair value gap. Hold on, I'm just gonna try and focus on this chart right here. Okay, so it's kind of playing out. Let's see. Bring up NQ. NQ did something similar. Again, so we're looking for a candle close below this low to constitute the breaker, then a fair value gap. I want to enter in on a fair value gap for this PM session silver bullet. Hey, I'm watching on the 5 minute though. We have this really big up close candle on the 5 minute. It's these up close candles on the 1 minute. So for me to actually take a short, I'd want to see a willingness, like a lot of like 3 candles that look like this one to the downside. Some displacement. I want to see some displacement to the downside to confirm that. I'll just leave that like that right now. Yeah. So it looks like the breaker isn't forming out. So a lower low on NQ. So this could even become a little breaker on NQ. A little low, high, lower low. If we take out that high. We might go sideways for the rest of the day, but we have this huge wick here on the 15-minute or the 1 hour. Probably want to measure out the consequent encroachment of that wick. Looks like it's just about the new week opening gap, a little bit below it maybe. Keep that in mind. In terms for longs, I wouldn't go long unless we got above this high on the 5-minute. Yeah, if we come up and take this high, I could see us going a little higher, especially if we start closing above this new week opening gap. Cool, yeah, so I want to see a few more candles like this one. I want to see a fair value gap form. I'm watching that as an immediate rebalance. That could have been an entry in somebody's model. So you have this breakaway gap. Come up. Immediate rebalance. We'd be targeting this low. The low of the day. Well, probably enter with one contract and just take the first 5 handles. But that would be the draw. Noticing how I made this lower low on ES. Didn't make a lower low on NASDAQ. If we get above this candle, wouldn't be too interested in downside. Yeah. To be honest, now I kind of want to take a long if we use this as an inversion fair value gap. Just tap and just, we've gone into it so many times. Have a little SMT divergence right here. Let's see. Oh, look at those equal highs. Dollar looks like it wants to take this low, which would help the upside narrative. I think I'd probably wait. I wouldn't, like, if we got to close above this 1 minute, I wouldn't enter on the first 1 minute down close. I'd want to see since it's a 5 minute fair value gap, I think I want to see a 5 minute close and a 5 minute touch. It's always safe safest to use if you have a PD array outlined, use that time frame. It could, you know, could go without us. For example, like this candle was technically a close and this was a come down and retap, so could kind of run here and we'd be caught with it. We'd be caught without it, but that's fine. So this is the last 1 minute candle of this 5 minutes. And I'd want to enter on like a 1 minute fair value gap. That'd be nice. Or at least something lower than a 5 minute. But I don't know if it's going to give us something like that. Okay, so we got the 5 minute close above. See if anything interesting happens. Dollar is looking heavy. I wouldn't want to just enter. Like, I'm hesitating to enter because we have this new week opening gap right here, so this could suppress price down. Maybe if it like ran up. If it ran up here, then came back down, and the next 5 minute candle, and it would have entered on something like a. If this had become a 5 minute fair value gap, but that's why I didn't want to enter. Damn, look at these 15-minute candles. All these dojis. Oh, I'm glad I'm not in a trade. Look at that. Look at that. Gonna pay attention to this low with the dollar rising. We had this run up, took liquidity on the 5-minute, took it on the 15-minute. Kind of see it as like a 3 drives pattern. 1, 2, 3. Then if we send it lower with the dollar rising, that'd be good for bears, good for shorts. If we don't come down and take this low, and this is technically a swing high, this candle right here, if we come back up, I would log off, because it'd be doing some nonsense. Nonsense. Wait, you can't trade this. Not trade this. I feel like on days like today, when it we have a big move in the morning and kind of like a continuation until lunch, it might consolidate in the 2 o'clock hour, and then in 3, it might out of nowhere just run up randomly and retrace. We have this consequent encroachment daily wick. So if we were to retrace, I could see the candle body staying above this new week opening gap, or this consequent encroachment. Ooh, maybe we want to go lower. Okay, so we didn't close a candle above this swing high, so that's good. Let's see if it shows any willingness to want to have any displacement. Whoa. I wish NQ, if this low was to be taken, I would want NASDAQ to also take it at the same time. So the fact that that's not happening is making me hesitant. But it's Friday afternoon, so I'm going to log off. I logged on quickly because I thought something might unfold. And, sometimes when I'm not live streaming, I'll be like sitting in front of the charts and I might like, there's been a few times where I've watched something like a setup unfold in front of me and I wasn't live streaming. And I'm just like, well, I can't take it because I'm trying to document everything on this account. So I thought I'd log on so that wouldn't happen, but price has been kind of crappy. Got dollar coming up on this high. Had some displacement, but there's still that SMT divergence. Cool. Okay, I'm logging off now. Enjoy.